Hey there, YouTube! I am not a great oral storyteller. Most of the time, I have a lot of trouble speaking. I will stutter over my words, or I'll lose my train of thought, or my stories will just feel like they're going someplace but then they just fall flat, or I have jokes that don't land. My high school friends would call it a Christie story. So whenever I told a story, or when anybody else told a story where it felt like it was going someplace and it didn't really go anywhere, or it took too long to say, they would call it a Christie story. They'd just roll their eyes and get exasperated when the story went nowhere. And then they would just laugh at me. And it hurt. Because I was just trying to communicate with them. I was trying to say an idea, but they didn't want to listen to me. And they laughed at me for it. So one day I got really frustrated and I kind of exploded on them, and I was like, I told them that I didn't appreciate it when they called these things Christie stories, and they laughed at me and they just said it was just a joke, and they kept on doing it. They didn't listen to me at all. I can see it on people's faces when they get frustrated with me because I'm not speaking clearly, or they're just wondering what's wrong with me, why can't this girl talk better? This is kind of something that's been happening to me my whole life, or at least as long as I can remember. I'm just not a good oral communicator at all. On YouTube, it's not really apparent. Sometimes you can see it just because I get tired of editing out all of the mistakes and the false starts and things like that. But a lot of the times, but YouTube, I can edit, I can plan, I can practice, so there's not that much of the poor communication that I have on YouTube. But sometimes it's a little too much, and so I just don't edit it out. And this video, I planned it out, I practiced it, and I have notes because it's important to keep my thoughts together. But I'm not going to edit it that much because I kind of want it to be real, you know. I feel like a lot of editing in this video would be a disservice to what it's about. So just like in real life, I am not well spoken at all, and I don't like it, and I can tell that other people get frustrated with me about it. I don't think it's any sort of like learning disability or speech impediment or anything like that. I always describe it as my brain is working too fast for my mouth and I can't keep up, or just can't get things out of my head at all. I don't know if anybody else has this problem. Let me know if you do, because I've always felt like I'm alone in this. This affected me a lot in school. I think it affected me in class a lot. I had teachers talk to me about it. I remember my 6th grade English teacher talking to me about it. She took me out of class and talked to me about it and kind of gave me some ways to, I don't know, answer questions better, or just like not feel like everything is exited my brain when I got called on to answer a question. And I had other teachers help me out with it too, and I'm really, really grateful for it. I don't think I have any sort of like learning disability or anything like that. I feel like in elementary school and in middle school I spent a lot of time in guidance counselors' offices, but I don't think that see? But I don't think that anything really came of it, or they found anything, or there was any sort of diagnosis made, because I am at least not aware of anything like that, and I feel like at 28 they would have told me if I had a learning disability in school. So I don't think it's anything like that. It's just I have a hard time brain to mouth communication. And that's not speaking clearly problem. It hasn't just affected me in school, it affected my relationships and ultimately my personality. Because it might take me a few tries to say something, or maybe the thing I want to say doesn't exactly go where I want it to be, people get tired of listening to me and they get tired of me speaking, so they just change the subject or they interrupt me because they're not interested and they don't want to take the time to listen to me. Friends and even family have done this for so long. I mentioned my friends in high school, but I had family who even does it, and they still do it, and it just makes me feel like I'm not worth listening to at all, because if my family doesn't want to listen to me, then why would anyone else want to listen to what I have to say? People just don't let me talk because it takes me longer to speak. And most of the time I have really good ideas. Sometimes my stories aren't that great, but just it's affected me in that I've kind of just stopped talking. I feel like as a result of this problem, I've become a very shy and reserved and non-confrontational person. And I'm very quiet. Everyone mentions on how quiet I am, and they're like, "Christy, why are you so quiet?" And it's because nobody's wanted to listen to me for as long as I can remember. My voice isn't loud and people don't hear me, and I've just kind of taken it. And I think that's why I do YouTube, and I really like to do YouTube, because it gives me an outlet to get my ideas out there or tell stories or just talk without being interrupted. It just gives me a place to get my thoughts out. And I put a lot of pressure on myself for views, because I think to me, the more views I have, the more people are listening to me. So that means the more that I matter. I've just spent so long not being listened to that having a place like YouTube is just so great for me, because I can talk and I can make myself sound however I want. There might be a million jump cuts in there, but my thoughts will be out clearly, and I don't have to know if people are clicking away from my video. I don't have to see that. I just know that it's out there for people to listen to if they want to hear me. So back into real life, I think in more recent years my mom and my dad have kind of helped me navigating family members. Every time I would get interrupted or just not listened to, they would kind of direct the conversation back to me and just at least let me finish my thought or my sentence. So I'm really grateful for them for that they've helped me kind of at least finish my sentence and make people in my family at least listen to me. And I'm really conscious of trying not to do this to other people. I know I'm human, so I definitely have done it to other people, but I'm so conscious of trying not to interrupt other people or let people speak. And if I do find myself doing it, I always try to apologize and ask them what they were saying. I don't want to do to other people what is my number one pet peeve and the thing that hurts me the most. So I really try to be conscious of it and to let other people speak also. I have just gotten fed up with not being listened to. I'm still gonna be quiet and shy and reserved because that's who I am now. But I'm trying to be better about speaking up or not letting people interrupt me. I know that my voice matters even if it takes me a few tries to say it. So just everyone has a voice and everyone deserves to be listened to. So just don't let anyone silence you.